Before we get started, here's a message from Noah, the host of a wonderful mindfulness podcast for kids called Like You.
Do you ever feel anxious, frustrated, or just out of control? You are not alone. Everyone has those feelings sometimes. On Like You Mindfulness for Kids, we use music, imagination, and simple mindfulness exercises to help you find your calm and remember that you're in control of your feelings. Let's try it together now. Relax your shoulders, close your eyes, and picture a sky full of gray storm clouds. Then take a deep breath in and blow all the clouds away, leaving nothing but a clear blue sky. How do you feel now? Calm? Confident? Comfortable? Join me on Like You Mindfulness for Kids. You can find us at likeyoupodcast.com or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Have a happy and peaceful day.
And here we are. How has your summer been? I'm going back to school exactly 1 week from the day this episode drops. So I'm recording this in the very last week of my summer break. It's been 2 COVID summers. Yikes. Yesterday, I heard that my school's opening will be delayed. Just kidding. I know some of you are already back in school. How's that going? If you heard our collaborative episode, you heard how other kids feel about going back to school. I hope it made you think about how you feel about it. In this episode, we'll skip the interviews and go straight to the games portion. We'll even start off with a new segment. I'm calling it Fun Fact. Let's dive right into it. I'm your host, Ari Kelly, and this is At Your Level. So this is how this new Fun Fact segment's going to work. Ready? I'm going to ask you a question, like, when do you think pencil erasers were invented?
Hi, my name is Jesse. I think pencils and erasers were made in 1799.
Hi, I'm Warren Wyatt, and when do you think pencil erasers were invented? Well, I don't know. They've been around for a while, surprisingly, because there's old, Japanese versions of pencil erasers, so I don't know. A long, long time ago in Imperial Japan.
And then, fun fact, before pencil erasers were invented, you'll never guess what they used. I'll give you a quick second to think about it. Actually, I'll just tell you. They used rolled up white bread. Warren was spot on. The crustless bread method was used in the Meiji era, which was in the first half of the Empire of Japan. Now, in the U.S., Jesse was close with his 1799 guess. It was 59 years later than that. Not so fun fact. Did you know that teachers resisted erasers when they were first invented? They thought they'd encourage kids to make mistakes. Teachers are much nicer these days. Next question. How old do you think the oldest public school is in the United States? Can you guess what state it's in?
I think the oldest school in the United States was made in, Massachusetts? Can you guess what state it's in? Boston.
How old do you think the oldest public school in the United States is? Probably around the early 1800s, maybe? I don't know, maybe late 1700s. Probably 100 or 200 years ago. So, can you guess what state it's in? Rhode Island? Maybe because Rhode Island was one of the first, original settlements, or, I don't know, somewhere up north, I guess. But Rhode Island's where I put my money on. So, yeah.
Impressive, Warren and Jesse. Warren, your educated guess worked again. It is in the north, and that made a lot of sense. And Jesse, you're exactly right. The answer is the Boston Latin School in my very own state of Massachusetts. It was founded in 1635. That's 386 years ago. Fun fact, 5 of the original signers of the Declaration of Independence attended that school. Benjamin Franklin, John Hancock, Robert Treat Paine, Samuel Adams, and William Hopper. Also a fun fact, the oldest school in the world is the Shishi High School in Chengdu, China. It was established in 194 AD. That's 1,827 years ago. While looking for fun facts about schools around the world, I found some really cool stuff, like boat schools in Bangladesh, a school kids have to zip line to in Colombia, and in Tibet, in the same altitude as the base of Mount Everest, there's a school up so high it's practically in the sky. Okay, so one last question for you. How many kids do you think like going to school? And on that note, do you like going to school?
I like school because my friends are going there and I can also make new friends. I think a lot of kids like going to school to see their friends and play, and a million kids like going to school, yeah.
I think school's boring, so I don't really like it, but I guess I get to interact with people, so I don't know, it's kind of 50-50, but I would say no, because school. Anyway, I don't know, probably 57%, so a majority, I guess, because a lot of people I meet like going to school. For example, my brother.
According to the New York Times, 75% of 5th graders said they did. Maybe. Technically, they said they were engaged, but only 32% of 11th graders felt the same. Warren, you're starting 5th grade now, right? That was pretty good. Fun fact! High schools didn't even exist in the U.S. until the Great Depression. Get this, people were so desperate for jobs, they created high schools to keep kids out of the workforce and make room for adults. What advice would you give a kid younger than you about school? I tried to answer that question myself. But first, so the next episode is going to be called SciPow. And that's because we have a very special guest, Dr. William Hasseltine, who wrote the book Science as a Superpower. You'll meet him in the next episode and learn some awesome stuff about science as a superpower. But for your return to school, I wanted to share with you just one piece of advice he gave.
Mentors are really important. That is, people who've been very successful and are interested in you and help you become successful. They're kind of like a good teacher, only even more important. They're almost like a parent. They're kind of a cross between a parent and a teacher. And I've been really fortunate to have the most wonderful mentors, because mentors not only show you how to do things, they teach you that things can get done. One of the most important things is to know you can solve a problem, and an important problem.
As for my advice, make sure you learn to turn all your assignments in on time, because if you don't, they pile up and come back to bite you in the butt. And as for the SciPow episode, if you love science, think you might have a superpower that science has a part in, or just have a lot to say about the topic of science as a superpower, I'm actually hoping I'll get to interview you too. Yeah, you. But you gotta reach out quick, because it takes some time to make an episode. Okay, you want some bizarre ASMR? Did you hear the back to school sound on the collaborative episode? I'll play it for you again in just a second. But first, let's start with the last episode's sound. Can you guess which martial art this is?
Here you go. So what kind of martial art do you think this is?
Okay, can I try?
Yep.
Hi, my name is Belle, and the martial arts is boxing.
Hi, I am Roland, and I think that the mystery karate sound is taekwondo.
Hi, my name is Ziva. I think the mystery is boxing.
Hi, my name is Anya. Let's see.
It is. So, since this is pretty difficult, I'm going to narrow it down for you a little bit. It is a Brazilian martial art. It starts with a C.
I don't even know if I know.
First 3 letters are cap.
Okay.
Something begins with calf.
Cap.
Cap. Let's see. Martial. All I hear in my brain right now is cat.
Well, it is a Brazilian martial art called capoeira.
Oh, I don't know that many martial art artists.
Yeah, that capoeira is one of the it's not exactly one of the more popular ones. It's more of a dance martial art, so not a lot of people know it. Were you able to guess it? I mean, have you ever heard of capoeira? That just so happens to be the correct answer, by the way. Since I made the martial arts episode, I've found out that most of us kids don't even know that a lot of really cool martial arts even exist. I'm really loving jiu-jitsu, and kickboxing is pretty fun too. Thanks, Isabella, for your super kind interview, by the way, and thanks for telling your friends about this podcast. Anyways, that ASMR was the Brazilian martial art that combines a couple of arts. Capoeira. Okay, ready to hear the back to school sound again? Don't forget to send me your guesses. Here goes. What do you think that sound is? The bizarre ASMR hint is always in the episode's title, and this is the back to school episode. If you think you know what it is, you can record yourself on a phone or my website and send it to me. Hold up. Before we get any further, I gotta tell you this idea I had. So I want to design new t-shirts, and I would really like them to be funny. So obviously, they gotta have a really, really bad dad joke on them. I mean, obviously, right? So I'm holding a competition for best/worst bad dad jokes. Mostly worst, to be honest. Top 3 get a t-shirt. The winner gets their joke printed on the t-shirt. You like? Okay, so now I suppose you'd like a demonstration of a bad dad joke. Let me see if I can find my father. I hope he didn't get milk. Oh, father.
Hello there, son.
Just for the record, you can grab a redonkulous mom, a fabulous uncle, or goobery grandma, whoever you think is likely holding on to an awfully bad joke. Grab them, grab your phone, iPad, or any device really. Brace yourself, hit record, and ask. Okay, Dad, let's hear it.
Sure. This is your back to school episode, right? So, what's the king of all school supplies?
Let me think. I'm stumped.
The ruler.
Oh. Really? Oh, wait. Let me try that again. Gah! Just to say it, your reaction to the joke is gold. So yeah, on that note, let's have a bad dad segment, shall we? You know how I told you that you can grab a goobery mom, a fabulous uncle, or a donkulous grandma? Well, I found this wacky poet. His name is Darren Short, and he is the host of the Kids Poetry Club. I met him in the Story Seeds camp I told you about in the last episode. He was so eager to share his bad jokes. He even wore a t-shirt that says Dad Joke Loading for our camp session together. Roll the clip.
And don't forget to mention that you have a dad's joke section, which explains why I'm wearing my dad joke loading T-shirt today.
Precisely. And
you want to hear a dad joke, Ari? I can give you a dad joke right now if you want.
All right. Let's hear it, Darren.
Okay,
Let's hear it, Darren.
I phoned up my local gym instructor and I said, "Can you teach me to do the splits?" And the gym instructor said, "I don't know. How flexible are you?" And I said, "I can't do Tuesdays."
Yep. Okay. Yep.
So that is the reaction that you want the person recording, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, then I'll hand back over to you, and I apologize for clearly a failed dad joke.
He's a very, let me think about it, cheeky fellow. He's got that super witty sense of humor.
And the good news for you is that I only have 4 or 5 jokes, and everybody else has now heard them every week for the last 3 weeks. But you get to hear them for the first time this time. So there'll be somebody laughing at my only 3 or 4 jokes. So I'm glad that you're here. Thank you.
His jokes kept on coming back.
Particularly if you come up with some good dad jokes, because I'm a big fan of those.
Yes.
For example, right now I'm reading a book on the history of glue, and I just can't put it down. Okay, then. So,
hey, listeners, did that joke do it for you?
I can visibly see the groans. I can't hear the groans, but I can see them in the videos.
Now, while the wacky poet was working his bad dad magic on me, the real starlet of this bad dad segment actually stumbled her way right into the joke. Let's first say hello to Sandhya.
Hi, Ari.
Hi. She's the founder and executive producer of Literary Safari, the creator of Story Seed Podcast and the Story Seeds Camp. And for this joke, I'm going to bring you right back to the beginning of our camp session. Skip the small talk and...
Yeah. Hi, Darren.
Hey, folks.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I've come, Ari, as promised.
Yeah,
I have my dad
joke
loading T-shirt on.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
And I have come prepared with a whole load of dad jokes
jolly.
just to keep Ari happy. You see,
that's awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, straight after this camp, I have to go and sell my vacuum cleaner, I'm afraid.
Well, and then we got distracted and on to another topic.
Actually don't have. Anyway, so go back to my joke. I've got to sell my vacuum cleaner because, it's
for real?
It's just collecting dust. I might as well just sell it.
So where does one go to sell a vacuum cleaner?
I don't know, actually, but Ari groaned at my joke, and so I'm very happy for the fact that he groaned at my joke. So thank you, Ari.
You get a groan, and that's... Let's turn this into points. Groan is 5 points. Ugh is, let's say, 10 points. And a super reaction,
oh my
let's go with
gosh.
15 points. So that's the grand slam.
Oh my gosh.
So for those of you keeping score and want to enter a bad dad joke, Darren did a fantabulous job demonstrating. Please record and send. And for those of you who maybe are self-proclaimed tube-lights like Sandhya, you might enjoy going back to minute 18.08 to catch an entirely different form of funny. Another up next exciting bit I got for any of you who might want to participate is that Darren, the wacky poet you just met, well, he's the host of the Kids Poetry Club. In it, he holds a Golden Globe-like award ceremony for kid poets. I mean, just hearing him say the words award ceremony is fun enough in my book. But get this, if you enter, you won't believe who will help select the next winner. Did you guess it? It's me, Ari. It all started from this amazing astrophysicist and author, Sean Raymond, and his book illustrating son, Owen. I don't want to give too much away. I promise to tell you more in the next episode, but you'll love them. Trust me. There's a lot more, but for now, if you want to enter your poem about space or the sky, I put a link to the competition in the show notes. And as always, you can always write or send me recordings to atyourlevelpod@gmail.com. Visit my website, atyourlevelpod.com. Sign up for the newsletter for inside reveals before they air. I'll tell you this, only kids subscribed to the newsletter knew about the new Fun Fact segment. And last but not least, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/atyourlevel. Please. It's so time to thank the kids you've heard in this episode. I'm going to go by age, not in the order of who pooped last, or who started school first. Yeah. So, thank you, Eva, thank you, Belle, and thank you, Jessie. I loved your answers. Thank you, Anya, for answering that ASMR. As you can see, nobody got it. Thank you, Warren, for your fantastic answers. You were great. And Roland, you rock. Thanks for mobilizing some troops. I really appreciate it. Last but not least, thank you, Charlie, John, and Dominic, for answering my big back-to-school question. Still also by age, by the way. And my mother would like to thank Kathy, the best mom in the world, and Smush, the most loving mama on earth. Yeah, no. I mean, she's sitting right here next to me, making me say she loves you, and that she wants to thank you. She would also like to thank Diane. And Diane, Nova thanks you too. Moving on, we also want to thank Darren and Sonia. Thank you so much for letting me be on the Story Seeds camp. And Darren, your dad jokes were great. And Sonia, thanks for your accidental contribution and for having such a good sense of humor about it. And of course, the original Bad Dad. I'm going to play you one very last clip. It's of Darren interviewing me about podcasting for the Story Seeds Summer of Podcasting Camp.
So I would love to know what you do and what your mum does. So who does what on the podcast?
So basically, she does a lot of the editing. I do the recording. And a third kind of wheel, I guess you could call it, is my brother. And he does the transitions and music, I guess.
Perfect. I love the fact that your brother is the third wheel. That needs to be on your website, I think, as a description, that maybe the job title for him.
I hope you all know that all that music you're hearing in every episode is that brassy trombone tootin' brother of mine. You know the last person in the credits, the final performer? That "and" at the end? That is the greatest honor. Seriously though, Ben, thank you. And our mother, also still sitting here next to me, thanks you. It's been a fine year and a half, but it's time to go back to school.